an observatory, most famously though a prison and a place of execution. Now if you look up above the tower you can see how the city skyline is continually changing. You'll see the rocket-shaped building, known as the Gherkin. A few years ago it was actually the tallest tower block in the city. The tallest one today is the one in the middle, and they call that one the skyscraper. And the one a little further along, which gets wider at the top with different colour glass on the front, this is the walkie-talkie. I don't make these names up, honestly I don't. I think they leave that up to a 5-year-old. To the left-hand side, another strange-looking building, designed by Norman Foster. This one is City Hall. The office is planned up on there and is assembly of Johnson. Now, also to the left-hand side, coming up, dominating the skyline, we have the Shard. The Shard is the tallest tower block in Western Europe, standing 1,016 feet tall. Now, all these buildings, every one of them, you see, they call multifunctional today. Years ago, it was an office, apartments were apartments. But the Shard comprises of luxury apartments, a hotel, different sorts of restaurants, offices, and the top floor is a billboard. So all these tall sort of skyscrapers are multifunctional. To the left-hand side is London's very own warship, the HMS Belfast. She was the largest of the light cruisers ever built for the British Royal Navy. Weighs 11,500 tonnes. She was decommissioned from the Navy in the 1970s and brought here by the Imperial War Museum, now currently moored up 7 days a week as a museum ship to the public. Now this super yacht on the outside, this is a brand new boat. It's just been built and it's just here in the for its registration and this basically its official launch. We get loads of different cruise liners, super yachts and naval ships up and down the Thames during the year. Now on the land to the left hand side, this is known as the London Bridge City. It's all privately owned land and it belongs to a member of the Quasar royal family. See the lovely glass, little warehouse with a glass dome roof in the middle? Originally these were refrigeration warehouses. They were nicknamed as the Larder of London. That's where they used to keep stuff like butter, cheese and eggs. Today it's a shopping centre called the Hayes Galleria. And now if you want to take your wife or girlfriend and buy them something nice, do yourself a favour and don't take them over there. It is very nice, but it's very, very expensive. Also to the left hand side we have the London Bridge Hospital. This specialises in heart attacks. Doesn't matter what you go in there with, a runny nose or a broken leg. Once you receive the bill for your treatment, you will more than likely have a heart attack. In front of us, we have the London Bridge. It's the fourth London Bridge to span the river at this point. That's why we're going to AD 43. Present day bridge erected by McAlpine and opened by Her Majesty the Queen in 1970. Before we pass between the buildings. In the gap is a church. It's called St Magdalens. It was designed by Sir Christopher Wren. It's over 400 years old. In fact, in the church, one of Wren's daughters was actually married. Behind the church is a tall stone column with a golden top. And this is Wren's monument to the Great Fire of London of 1666. Built to represent a candle. As they looked out was a candle which started the fire in the baker's shop in Woodley Lane. Out on its end in an easterly direction, we'll touch the point of where the baker's shop once stood. Now as we pass through the bridge, take a look to your left-hand side. There's a small gap between the buildings. In the gap is the lovely Southwark Cathedral. It's been a place of worship over there since the 12th century. It's actually the second oldest place of worship in the Town of London. It was over there where a man called John Harvard was baptised, the son of a local tradesman. He went over to America where he founded the Harvard Library, which in turn became a part of the Harvard University in Massachusetts, USA. Also to the left-hand side, the lovely yellow brick building is the old Queensgate Fish Market. To the left-hand side, the small sailing ship in Wet Dog is a replica of Sir Francis Drake's old ship, the Golden Hind. Now, Francis Drake was actually the first Englishman to navigate the world. As I say, it's a replica ship that was built down in Devon about 35 years ago to commemorate Drake's voyage. Go on there. It's all the history of Sir Francis Drake. In front of us is the Cannon Street Railway Bridge, and that's it really. Other than that, there's no historical interest in this bridge whatsoever. It's followed by the Southwark Road Bridge, which was opened in 1925 and originally built to relieve the strain from the old London Bridge. It was actually the narrowest and the most least used bridge of all London's river crossings for many years. But since our last mayor, Boris Johnson, installed the super cycle highway, we don't have to worry about the cyclists getting knocked off. If you look up there, it's completely solid. Now all the way to the left-hand side is known as Bankside in the district of Southwark. In Elizabethan times, Bankside was the red light entertainment area. Over there, you would have found bear baiting pits, dog fighting pits, gambling dens, circuses, taverns, and of course the houses of horizontal pleasure. These were all owned and licensed by the bishops of Winchester. In fact, it was over there where the bishops of Winchester made their money to pay to build the Winchester. It's also to the left-hand side where you would have found all the other theatres. Through the bridge coming up on the left, you'll see that one of the old theatres has been recreated. There is a white circle room with a back room, which is the replica of Shakespeare's Rome Theatre. Built at the group of the Lorenz Sam Monomaker. That's the first building in London to be built entirely out of wood since the Great Fire of London of 1666. Go over there today and see an old Shakespearean play being reenacted as it would have been done in Shakespeare's day. No microphones, no lighting, and it isn't a ritual open-air theatre, so if you book in advance, it's chucking down the rain. You best take an umbrella with you. Also to the left-hand side, the building with the tall chimney is the old Bankside Power Station. Today it is the Tate Modern Art Gallery. If you're interested in modern art, go over there. You can see things like a pile of old bricks, half a cow in a jar, a bit of screwed up newspaper, and a light bulb that flicks on and off. What a fantastic day out. The bridge in front of us is Norman Foster's Millennium Footbridge. It's better known by its nickname as the Wibbly Wobbly Bridge. The reason being, on the opening ceremony, they discovered the bridge swinging and swaying from side to side. They closed the bridge down for 18 months and spent another $4 million on it, re-strengthening the suspension supports. Today are very popular. Well, obviously Norman Foster isn't very good at designing bridges, but one thing he's done incredibly well, ruined one of the finest views we had here in London. As we pass beneath the bridge, look to the right where it goes between the two buildings. You'll see at one point we had a lovely view of Sir Christopher Wren's masterpiece, St Paul's Cathedral. It took Wren 35 years to complete. It's now 365 feet tall, and it is the second largest unsupported cathedral in Europe, second to have St Peter's in the Vatican City of Rome. The red brick building in front of St Paul's, you can see the name, the new City of London School. Many famous people were educated over there. People like Lord Asquith and Lloyd George, two of our former Prime Ministers. Oh, sorry, that's the new City of London School. And they tell us many of the people being educated over there will be running this country in a few years' time. So basically, they teach you lives, and figure your expenses. Well, I was saying that a few years ago, Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter, he was educated over there. Well, we're now approaching a group of bridges. The first bridge in front of us is the Blackfriars Road Railway Bridge. It is followed by the Blackfriars Road Bridge, and as we pass beneath, in the middle is all that remains from the first ever railway bridge to span the River Thames. The old St Paul's Railway Bridge carried the first steam trains across the river for the Chatham-Dover railway system. Now the top half of the bridge was removed many years ago, as it couldn't take the weight of the modern day trains. The reason the old bridge remained? They purposely built the new bridge as close as they possibly could to the old one. The reason for that, all they had to do then was slightly divert the railway track, and it would have caused much disruption. The downside to that is, you can pull the old pillars out, you undermine the foundation with a modern day bridge, and it will become unsafe. So that's why these old pillars still remain. The bridge come up on the right, there's a building with a sloped roof and a spire in the middle. It's the old City of London School for Boys. Many famous people were educated over there. People like Lord Asquith and Lloyd George stood out in the Prime Minister. Really now belong to Jonathan Morgan. The Red Brick Gothic style building next to the it houses over 3,000 very rare and expensive books, including Queen Victoria's own personal private diary. And the building next to that, well, not the one next to it, the one next to that, the old green and white one. Look up by the chimney pots, up on the sky, you're going to see there's a spire with a statue on the top. It is the wingtip messenger. It's Mercury. It's actually the logo of the independent newspaper. stand on a building in a place called Fleet Street. Now, Fleet Street was actually the birthplace. The first ever newspaper anywhere in the world was printed over there on Fleet Street. Now, also to the right-hand side, we have all the trees. Behind the trees is, well, you can't actually see it too well, but all them buildings are known as the inner, the middle, and the outer temple. Has anyone ever read the book or seen the film The Da Vinci Code? That is where 70% of the legal profession in this country receive their training. Now, coming up on the left-hand side, there's a white painted building with 4 black windows. On the top, you can see the name, This Morning ITV. It's, I'm sure most of you have seen it. Philip Schofield, Holly Willoughby, independent television. Now, over there, as well as the breakfast programmes, the tall tower behind it and the building in front of it, that's where they film a lot of our Saturday night programmes, daytime television, and also the studios for our local news programme, London to Bang, London Tonight. Now, they do use the river as a backdrop, and you quite often see the boats travelling up and down, so give them a big smile and a really big wave. You never know, we could well be on the television. If you're here with someone else's husband or wife, you better look to the right. If you look to the right, there's a large white ship. It's called the Wellington. It's a floating livery hall for the honourable company of the past Master Mariner. To be a Master Mariner, you have to have served over 25 years at sea, and the present of the ship is Prince Philip. You can also hire private functions where these Christians things are. Now, also coming up on the right hand side, we have the black and white boat. This is the St Catherine, the former royal barge. Now, any time the royal family used to travel on the Thames, that's the boat they used to go on. They sold it a few years ago now because, to be honest, it was a bit too big for this river. They built one called the Royal Nor, but when we had the Diamond Jubilee pageant, they actually used the passageway. Well, you see, that's been sold now, unfortunately. But the St Catherine over there today is just one of the many floating bars and restaurants we have here in London. To the left-hand side, behind the trees, the building with the illuminated sign is the National Theatre. Has been voted by 7 of London's top architects as being the ugliest looking building in London. Prince Charles had an opinion on the building. He described it as looking like the back end of a nuclear power station. And I actually think that most people probably agree with him. Then on to something so ugly, this is such a lovely building. To the right hand side we have the Somerset House. Originally built for the Duke's Mills of Somerset. It was there for many years. It was a register of births of marriages in England and Wales. Parts of the building are now museum, and parts of that building belong to a criminal organisation who like to call themselves the Inland Revenue. In front of us we have the Waterloo Bridge, completed during the Second World War by the Land Army, and more affectionately known here on the Thames as the Ladies' Bridge. This is because the Land Army at that time was made up of 80% female labour, as all of them were away fighting in the armed forces. It's also, though, the only bridge to ever be completed on time and on budget. So I think you will all agree in saying that what a lovely job the ladies done at building the Waterloo Bridge. Through the bridge, coming up on the right, is a tall stone column on the river bank. It's called the Cleopatra Needle. It was presented to Britain by the Egyptian government after Lord Nelson victory over the French at the banks of the River Nile. The needle itself is over 3,500 years old, but it was presented to Britain in 1877. In front of us we have the busiest railway line on the River Thames, the Charing Cross Railway Bridge. Charing Cross embankment station is over to your right and Waterloo is over to your left. It also incorporates the 2 pedestrian footbridges. The one on the lower side is the new 100-foot footbridge, the one on the upper side is the Golden Jubilee Walkway. Before we pass beneath the bridge to the left-hand side, the building is all arranged from the Festival of Great Britain of 1951. It is the Royal Festival Concert Hall. It can accommodate up to 3,000 people, and it is said to be one of the finest concert halls anywhere in the world. It's situated on a part of land called the South Bank. Well, the South Bank today is one of the busiest parts of London. In never used to be though. 17, 18 years ago, it was horrible over there. It was actually quite dangerous for nights. But it's been completely regenerated. In the bottom of the festival hall, there's loads of new bars and restaurants all over there. And the reason the South Bank has become so popular, through the bridge and on the left, you can't miss the London Eye. Still the busiest tourist attraction in London. Now, when it opened in 2000, you would have queued for 4 hours and you would have paid £7.50 to go on there. There are no queues today, because if you want to go on the London Eye today, it will now cost you £25. But since opening in 2000, it's carried over 55 million cars. Going up on the right hand side, that dark grey ship, the Thames Castle. Normally the busiest boating club in London. It's actually just been moved. For the last 5.5 months, they've moved it literally just 200 yards up the street. The reason being, that is where they're going to be building our new super sewer. So, as I say, last time that was opened actually on the 31st of December last year. Also coming up just past the ship on the river bank, the tall stone column with the golden eagle on the top, is a war memorial to men and women who lost their lives in the First and Second World War in the Air Force. Now the beak of the eagle points due south, where many of the men and women lost their lives. The back side of the eagle points directly to the Ministry of Defence, which is the building. The eagle is over to the left-hand side, past the London Eye, we have the old County Hall. The former headquarters of the Greater London Council. This was until 1986, when it was abolished by Margaret Thatcher. It was sold to a Japanese consortium. Now houses two very large hotels, the London Aquarium, the London Dungeon, and various other bars, shops and restaurants are all within the old County Hall. To the right hand side we have the Westminster Pier. Before we go to Westminster Pier, folks, you see it's quite congested. So what we're going to do, we're just going to take you up through the next bridge. We're going to take you up through the Westminster Road Bridge, folks. And we've just got to pick a couple of our colleagues up also, so I should say we can't get alongside the pier just yet. Well, the Westminster Bridge is the only bridge to span the River Thames to have 7 arches. The reason being, the riverbed at this point is very soft indeed. It's known as silt. It's across the mud and sand. And when they designed the bridge, they put the 7 arches in for extra support. And each one of these is named after each day of the week, Monday through to Friday. To give you an idea about the tides on the River Thames, we're not far off from the low water now. Now, in 5.5 hours or 6 hours time, the tide will rise. You see where the white part of the bridge touches the stonework? In 6 hours, the tide will be on that bridge. That just gives you some idea of how high the tide is actually going. As we go through the bridge, it now gives you one of the finest views in London, in my opinion, and it's of the Palace of Westminster and the St Stephen's Clock Tower. Now, the Palace of Westminster is more commonly known as the Houses of Parliament, the seat of our British government. Now, the St Stephen's Clock, and I told you it was the St Stephen's Tower, it actually changed the name from the St Stephen's Tower a few years ago. Now, the reason being, the tower on the end is known as the Victorian Tower. It was named after Queen Victoria, who was our longest reigning monarch up until about 2 years ago. When our president actually changed the name from St Stephen's Tower to the Queen Elizabeth II Tower. So it's now the St Stephen's Clock, the Queen Elizabeth II Tower, but everyone knows it as Big Ben. Well, Big Ben is actually the name of the bell inside the tower, and it was named after the commissioner of works at the time of its completion, a man called Sir Benjamin Hall, who was a giant of a man, hence the name Big Ben. But all I've got to say is, thank God, it wasn't named after his twin. Westminster, you would have been imprisoned in there until the time was right. You would have been boarded onto a small rowing boat and rowed down the river to the Tower of London, where you would have been took up onto Tower Hill and executed. So that was the oldest thing. Guy Fawkes actually spent about 12 hours in there. Well, as I say, folks, we're just going to pick someone up off of this boat here, so just bear with me for a couple of moments.